Although the boys' bodies have not been found, the prosecution has said that evidence, including interviews with the West's other children, indicates the boys were killed in September of 2020, 3 months before the West reported them missing. The West are charged with second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and other offenses and face life terms in prison if convicted.
Notes from inside the courtroom on the Jacqueline and Trezell West case. March 29th, 2023. Reported by KGET. For more than an hour, Trezell West spoke calmly, laughing at times, as he gave law enforcement details of his life with his wife and their 6 children, leading up to the disappearance of their 2 youngest. He broke down the events of December 21st, 2020, the day he reported Orrin 4 and Orson 3 missing from the backyard of the family's California City home. Then the interview, a recording of which was played in court Wednesday, takes a sharp turn. It was conducted with several law enforcement officers just days after the West reported the children missing. "You have not been honest," an officer says. He tells West officers have spoken to his children and their stories match. They haven't seen Orrin and Orson in weeks. He says the boys were never at the home the day the West said they disappeared. "You know where they're at," the officer tells West. "You haven't even shed a tear." Trezell West repeatedly denies lying, eventually asking if he's under arrest or free to go. He's told he can leave. "I'm done with this," West says. The majority of the nearly 2-hour video was played Wednesday. In the video, one of several interviews played for the jury by prosecutor Eric Smith, law enforcement tells Trezell there are no children's shoe prints in the area where he said the boys were playing the evening he reported them missing. Police dogs found no scent of the boys outside the West's home on Aspen Avenue. And massive searches, including multiple agencies and a helicopter, turned up nothing. An officer tells Trezell West his and Jacqueline West's stories don't match up. They're simply not true, he says. He also remarked on the couple's behavior. "You have shown zero emotion," he tells Trezell West. "Your wife has shown zero emotion." Trezell West, whose earlier demeanor turned sullen, maintains he had nothing to do with the disappearance. He takes issue with authorities speaking to his other children without his permission. The officer who conducted the majority of the interview leaves the room, and West continues to speak with California City Police Officer Brian Hansen. Hansen tells him he knows he and Jacqueline West are looking out for each other. "Either you're protecting her or she's protecting you," he says. Hansen was the only witness called on Wednesday. The West had custody of 6 children, including Orrin and Orson. They have 2 biological children and also 2 other adopted children. All 4 will testify. The eldest biological child was 10 at the time the boys were reported missing. That boy said he woke up one night to noises coming from Orrin while the family still lived in an apartment on Lotus Lane in Bakersfield. He said his parents got to Orrin first, and they watched as his color faded. He vomited and died, according to the interview he gave on December 28th, 2020. His parents never called for medical aid, the boy said. Instead, they discussed keeping the death hidden, the child said, according to Smith. The West asked the child if they should tell somebody or keep it a secret, Smith said. And what you'll hear through testimony, the child knew if they told somebody they would be taken away from their parents, Smith said. Orrin never made it to California City, and Orson was only there 4 days, according to the boy's interview. Smith said the child told an interviewer he heard a loud thud one night. Orson had been at the home the day before the thud was heard, the child said, according to Smith. The next day, Orson was gone, the child said, and he hasn't seen him since. He believed Orson was taken back to his grandmother's house, the child said, according to Smith. In blistering questioning Thursday, defense counsel suggested a California police officer who investigated the disappearance of Orrin and Orson West failed to properly document evidence and missed numerous signs supporting statements given by the boys' adoptive parents. Officer Brian Hansen responded with, "I don't know," or "I don't recall," to numerous questions posed by attorney Alexia Torres Stallings. She represents Jacqueline West. Hansen testified he didn't know if he went inside the West's van parked outside their California City home. He didn't know if police seized little fingerprints found on a sliding glass door on the West home. He couldn't remember if he identified himself as a police officer before questioning the West's 4 other children, and was unaware if any of them had specialized needs or educational disabilities. Torres Stallings noted Thursday was the first time Hansen, who has provided testimony at multiple prior hearings, said he viewed surveillance footage from a home on Harvard Avenue previously and as recently as March 9th. He said he only viewed footage from 2 homes. The Harvard Avenue footage makes 3. The attorney asked Hansen if he lied previously, or was he lying now? Neither, he responded. Prosecutor Eric Smith earlier played a video of an interview Hansen and other law enforcement conducted with Trezell West. The West said the boys were playing outside as Trezell West gathered firewood. According to their account, Trezell West briefly went inside, and when he came back outside, the boys were gone. In the video, officers accused Trezell West of lying, saying he and his wife's stories don't make sense. The West reported Orrin and Orson missing December 21, 2020, but the couple's older children told authorities they hadn't seen the boys in weeks. Trezell West denied having anything to do with the boys' disappearance, despite police telling him there was no evidence showing the boys were at the house that night. Torres Stallings pushed back against those claims. She displayed photographs showing presents wrapped and stockings hung for Orrin and Orson, a bunk bed set up for Orson, 8 dining chairs, 1 for each family member including the missing boys, and a used diaper found in the bathroom after a search warrant was served at the West house on Aspen Avenue on December 29, 2020. Hansen said he'd never seen the photo of the diaper. Only Orrin and Orson, the 2 youngest, were at an age where they'd be in diapers. Under redirect examination by Smith, Hansen testified he didn't take the photos that defense counsel showed him Thursday, and he didn't know who took them. Hansen said he doesn't know what took place in the West's home from the time he searched it on December 22, 2020, to when the warrant was served and photos taken on December 29, 2020. Smith played an audio recording of Hansen radioing in to dispatch the night the boys were reported missing to say he was examining footage at the Harvard Avenue residence. It's not something he recently made up. He said it in response to the prosecutor's questions. The trial will resume April 10th.